Joining me right now is Georgia Congressman Richard McCormick, a member of the House Foreign Affairs and Armed Services Committees. Congressman, assess the situation for us.
Well, I was also a Marine before I was a congressman and an ER doc for the Navy and NATO in Afghanistan. And this is going to be one of the hardest part of this battle and this war is going house to house and clearing them out. They're probably going to be human shields, both Palestinian and possibly Israeli, maybe American. You're going to have people going around corners. It's going to be booby trapped. There's going to be IEDs everywhere. There's going to be a lot of fatalities, a lot of casualties. They're probably going to have mobile ER sites along the ways. It's going to get ugly real quick.
What can Congress do about it? What are you expecting in terms of pushback from the administration?
I don't think there's any pushback when it comes to uniting behind Israel. Both sides of the House, the presidency, the Senate, everybody's behind Israel. We want to support them in any way we can to give them the munitions and the armor, anything else they need to succeed in their mission against basically an evil force that we all recognize, especially with what they've done. There's no way to excuse that sort of behavior.
So is that the priority then for the House, coming up with an emergency aid package for Israel right now?
That's a big part of it. Some of it's also getting people out of Israel, doing our constituent services, making sure that the budgeting is good. We can do it with the Speaker Pro Tem, the emergency powers from the President. There'll be many ways we can help.
Yeah.
Making sure that we try to help with the negotiations for possible hostages, maybe involving a third party, maybe Qatar or some other nation that's more moderate, that's respectful of both sides. So we'll see how that plays out, but we're doing everything we possibly can.
Yeah, and yet the Biden administration claims there's no specific evidence linking Iran to the terrorist attack on Israel. President Biden still delivered his first direct warning to Tehran yesterday since the start of the war, but still will not indicate a direct link. Watch this.
We've moved the U.S. carrier fleet to the Eastern Mediterranean, and we're sending more fighter jets there in that region, and made it clear to the Iranians, be careful.
What do you think he means by that?
Well, he's trying to keep them from getting overly involved directly, overtly, if you will, but they're complicit. I think it's embarrassing that we just gave them $6 billion. The fact that they supplied all the arms and munitions indirectly or directly to those people who are evil. Iran is probably the worst government in the world in sponsoring terror.
Yeah.
So there's no way to avoid that complicity.
Embarrassing? I think it's more than embarrassing. Tiana, jump in here.
So obviously, House Republicans are not exactly in the best timing to not have a House Speaker. The caucus overwhelmingly backing Steve Scalise as their nominee to replace Kevin McCarthy as Speaker. But my question is this: given the urgency of these aid packages, Hakeem Jeffries has made one of the conditions of letting Democrats in his caucus vote for Scalise the idea that the Speaker would then be forced to bring Democratic bills to the floor even if they don't support it. Do you think that Scalise will be forced to take up Jeffries on this offer, or will eventually the Republican caucus be able to get in line to push him over the finish line to that 218?
So that's a really good question. There's been, last night I saw it, probably half a dozen members on their phone in stressful conversations over exactly that. Trying to figure out where they line up, where they fall out, determining the future of the Republican Party really in the House and where we go from here. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talks. I don't know any talks between the Democrats and Scalise at all, but I do know inside the Republican Party there's still contention, and that's going to play itself out.
There are still people supporting Jim Jordan. Will Steve Scalise be the next Speaker of the House?
Since you're speaking about something that's never happened before, nobody here has ever been alive during this. There's no template for this. It's very difficult. Anybody who's trying to predict this isn't being realistic. It's very difficult. It reminds me of maybe the elections with Lincoln or Garfield, where it was just sheer pandemonium until it worked itself out. We don't know how long it's going to take. We don't know what kind of deals are being made behind closed doors. I hope it's all for the good of the nation. That's my prayer.
All right, we will leave it there. Congressman, thank you. Congressman Richard McCormick, we're watching, of course. We appreciate it.